water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the brown boy Wonder, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the podcasting world needed him the most, he vanished. 100 years passed, and my brother and I discovered the new brown boy Wonder, an airbender named Abrar. And although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Abrar can save the podcasting world.
Welcome to the Brown Boy Wonder podcast. My guest and I are done with Avatar: The Last Airbender, Season 1, Book of Water, which only means it is our obligation to discuss the motion picture film, The Last Airbender. Since this movie only takes place everything before Season 2 of Nickelodeon's Avatar, we thought it was a great idea to talk about this iconic movie. Let me bring in my guest here. He's been here since Season 1. Skyler, how are you doing today, man?
Well, look at what we're talking about. I could be doing better.
Yeah, we could have been doing better. We could have, go straight to Season 2, but we're like, you know what? Let's hold our brakes.
Season 2 of a really good show. Season 1 ended so good, and then it's like, all right, well, let's take a look at this. Someone else made their own version of Season 1. Who could it? M. Night Shyamalan.
Hey, I like M. Night Shyamalan. He's a good director sometimes.
Let's talk about M. Night Shyamalan for a second, really quick. Let's talk about him. Let's
Sure.
talk about his filmography. We're not going to go through them all, but The Sixth Sense is such a good movie.
Great movie.
Unbreakable's a great movie.
Another Bruce Willis film. I love it.
Signs, that's a banger.
I was scared.
Have you seen The Village? I don't think I've never seen The Village.
I have. It's not people like the ending, but
Yeah.
in the beginning towards the end, it was still scary. So it's still good.
Okay. Well, speaking of beginning of the end, what about we're gonna skip Lady in the Water. I didn't see that one either.
I haven't. Yeah.
What about The Happening?
Oh,
That's where modern day M. Night was born. It happened.
It happened. Mark Wahlberg was not a scientist. He was a science teacher of a high school, and we see his troubles. But I'll say this for that film, man, it was still creepy. Even though the movie doesn't make sense, it was still creepy. It was an eeriness.
And then this movie we're talking about today.
Yeah.
But then, okay, let's look at M. Night after that. After Earth.
Oh, woo! Not good.
The Visit. I didn't see The Visit.
Visit, amazing. Banger.
Amazing.
Yeah,
because the film after The Visit is Split, and now that's a banger.
Another banger.
Okay, I haven't heard anyone before you call The Visit a banger, and I've never seen it, so I don't know.
It's a great scary movie. If you want to see a naked grandma, that's the movie.
If I want to see a naked grandma, that's the movie. Okay. And then Glass. People were about Glass.
I'll say that was the last Bruce Willis
real movie.
That's not directed to DVD.
There you go.
It was so good.
And then Old, The Beach That Makes You Old.
Man, we're all confused when we're watching that.
Now, for those of you listening who have not seen the movie Old 2019, there's a character in that movie whose name is Mid-Size Sedan.
Yeah.
And then Knock at the Cabin.
That was okay.
Really more, you watch it more for Batista than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting some Batista bombs, but he didn't deliver.
You expect that every time he's in a movie.
That's true.
And then his movie coming out this year, Trap, which I don't know anything about. Does anyone know anything about that movie yet?
No one knows, but his daughter, who's now a filmmaker.
She's also
She is
yeah.
directing that one movie. I forgot the name. Oh man. Oh, let me look it up here real quick.
Well, is it the same daughter? Because it looks like, well, first of all, Trap, the lead star is Josh Hartnett, which that's kind of cool. But then it looks like his other daughter, his eldest daughter. Which daughter's directing the movie? Because he has two.
It is Enshana Night Shyamalan.
And Shauna Night Shyamalan is directing
The Watchers with
The Watchers,
Dakota Fanning.
and Salika Shyamalan is in the movie Trap.
Okay.
So this is the year of the Shyamalan sisters, the daughters. This is their year.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So that's a brief overview of
the twist, as they say. He
yeah,
does the twists.
The twists and turns of M. Night Shyamalan, his filmography. So going through that, I will. We did skip his first two, Praying with Anger and Wide Awake, which I've never seen.
I haven't seen either.
But so going through his entire filmography, excluding the ones that neither of us have seen, is The Last Airbender his worst movie? Which basically I'm asking, is it worse than The Happening? Is it worse than After Earth?
Oh man, that's a tricky question, because if you have not seen the cartoon and you just watch it blank, you think it's like, it's all right.
Yeah,
I guess.
Would you though? Because if you walked in not knowing the plot of the season 1 of the cartoon, would you even know why anything is happening?
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
It might somehow be worse.
Yeah, actually, you're right. The movie just goes all over the place. You're right. It is the worst M. Night Shyamalan movie I've seen in my lifetime.
It's up there with some of the worst movies I've ever seen. Period. I really think. Now that's obviously the caveat of there are really shitty, like straight to video on demand, straight to DVD movies that like nobody's watching, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously those are movies that don't function well, and like but as far as like massive big budget summer tentpole blockbuster movies, this is a cartoon a bunch of people grew up with. This is a big name director. You put all that together, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And another example, which has all the same things, right? Big director,
yeah.
IP people know and love. Big summer tentpole movie. The 5th Transformers movie, The Last Night, also one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. This is up there with that, I think.
Yeah, probably so.
I try not to be hyperbolic. I try not to jump on a hate train or, praise things too much or take things down a notch too much. But this is just it's bad. It's a bad movie.
It is. But let's get into some trivia. I have 2 trivia questions for you for this movie.
Not trivia. All right, here we go.
So who was originally supposed to portray Zuko in the movie instead of Dev Patel?
Oh man. Instead of Dev Patel, is it the actor? Well, no. Okay, so it would have had to have been someone of like Indian or Pakistani descent, right? Because that's the whole Fire Nation in this.
Not really.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Was it the actor who voices Zuko? Was it Dante Bosco?
I wish, but nope.
Okay, because he seems like the right age-ish, right? Kind of. Maybe he was like 30 when that happened. I have no idea.
Probably. No, not him. Not him.
Was it a white guy?
Yeah, it was a white guy.
Who was it?
It was Jesse McCartney, the singer.
My friend, I'm flabbergasted.
I was like, I guess it's like maybe they're trying to get a white cast for the Fire Nation, but then since Jesse turned it down, they're like, all right, let's change the race.
Would that have happened because Cause I always kind of equated like the idea of all the nations being a different like Asian ethnicity. I always assumed that was like a Shyamalan thing,
Yeah.
especially considering like he is what is he? What is Shyamalan
Uh,
himself? He's
he's Indian.
I don't want to missay. So he is Indian. So
Yeah.
I assumed like that was a leading factor into why all of the Fire Nation was that. But so was the Jesse McCartney thing like something they were trying to do before Shyamalan became director?
I guess. I mean, it said Zuko was 16 in the show, but 8 in the movie. So I'm guessing the age was a big factor for this role.
That's insane. I mean, I guess if like you told somebody that like had no idea that this movie existed, and you were like, "Hey, Monkey Man's coming out," you know, Dev Patel, he's great. He's great in everything. He's really good. Did you know he was in one of the worst movies ever made, and about the Last Airbender? Did you know he was in that? And he was Zuko. You told someone who didn't know about this movie that he was Zuko, maybe they'd be just as flabbergasted. But I don't know. Sitting here knowing what I know, the idea that they were like, "Oh, we were gonna get Jesse McCartney," that's insane.
Oh man. Well, the second trivia here is who auditioned for the part of Sokka but turned down due to scheduling conflicts?
Oh, someone who dodged a bullet.
A big one.
Who I can't even begin to guess that one
Uh,
because I'm assuming another white guy because the for the most part the Water Tribe were all white guys in this too.
yeah, it was another white male.
Oh boy, who was it?
It was Zac Efron.
Wow,
It said he was either filming 17 again or Charlie St. Cloud, so he couldn't make this movie.
wow.
Yeah,
Zac
Kevin
Efron
Von
as
Erich.
Sokka. Yeah, no, he dodged a bullet himself there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, well, after this movie, Dave Patel, he came out of this horrible movie. He became a great actor.
He survived. His career right now is like peak. He's doing great stuff.
Well, speaking of actors, let's get into the cast here.
Let's go down the cast.
I feel sorry for the guy, man. Aang. He was
Uh,
Noah Ringer was
Noah
Aang in this one.
Yeah, it's so tough watching these kinds of movies where like one of the leads is a kid
Mhm.
and the movie's so bad because who knows what's going to happen to this kid at school, right? Like look at Star Wars, The Phantom Menace,
Yeah,
Jake Lloyd.
yeah,
He was like bullied to the point of like he like had breakdowns and like that Star Wars because he was in that one movie, it ruined his life.
yeah.
And I hope that's not what happened to this kid. It's not on the same level because obviously
No,
Star Wars is more global than this was.
yeah,
But this kid, Noah Ringer, he was only in 2 movies. It was this one in 2010, and then Cowboys and Aliens 2011. And now Cowboys and Aliens isn't a great movie, but he's not bad in it. He's fine.
no.
He's like a little kid. He's fine.
He's fine. It was a fun movie.
Yeah,
But after that,
I would
no
say
work.
he's better in that than he is in this. But
Oh
I
my.
don't know. I want to say 90% of the performances we get in this movie, I don't blame those performers. I don't blame those actors. Because, like I
Hmm.
said, Noah Ringer, he's a kid.
Yeah,
Dev Patel is amazing, and he was amazing before this movie and
yeah,
after this movie. It's just something happened here where he's not bad. He's just kind of a flat note.
sure.
I don't know about as Katara, Nicola Peltz.
Yeah,
I've never seen her in anything that
she's
I
in.
liked her in. She was
She's
also in Transformers, as I
yeah,
said.
Transformers. She's been in a lot of TV shows.
Uh, I think now I don't like to throw this term around, especially not derogatorily. I believe she's what the kids call a nepo baby.
Oh,
I
oh,
think
because of Beckham.
I think no, you're not. a nepo baby if it's your spouse. Her father, Nelson Peltz, is a billionaire businessman and investor. Well,
Oh, okay.
I thought someone of her parentage was like a producer or something. Maybe not. She's rich.
Gotcha. I
So
was
I
gonna say,
don't know.
like, is it the daughter of David Beckham, the soccer player?
No, that's her father-in-law now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I guess she's the daughter-in-law of Beckham.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, the next
I
guy
don't
we
know.
have here is Jackson Rathbone
Rathbone.
as Soka, as they say.
Now the only other thing I know about this guy is that he was in Twilight.
Sure.
He is the vampire in their little family of vampires who we learn in like I have no idea, fourth or fifth, third movie. In one of the movies, we learn he was a Confederate soldier.
Oh,
He was a little Confederate soldier vampire or something
in Twilight?
in Twilight. Yeah.
I guess gotta watch Twilight. What the hell is going on there?
Well, maybe that'll be our Halloween series this year.
No, definitely not.
Uh,
I got confused with him with the actor who plays Goku in Dragon Ball Evolution. Um,
oh,
I thought that was him.
the guy that just recently said when the Dragon Ball creator died, he said, "I'm sorry, our movie was so bad,"
Yeah.
and the whole Dragon Ball community was like, "We forgive you, pal. It wasn't your
Well,
fault."
I hope Jackson does the same thing for here.
Jackson Rathbone, you think he'll apologize?
I hope so.
I don't think he'll apologize. He probably doesn't even remember he was in this movie. Um,
uh,
he wasn't good in this.
no, no.
I don't know. I don't have
Um,
anything to back up that he's good in other things. I'm sorry.
it's all right. It's all right.
But someone who is good. Yeah, the next one.
Yeah. Dev Patel as Prince Zuko.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he was the best part in this. Well, not best part. I think he portrays Zuko really well.
I think he does the best with what he was allowed to do,
Sure.
which is not a lot.
Much.
Yeah.
He was not really in the film as much. It's like snippets, but that's it.
Yeah.
We got to bring out his uncle here, Uncle Iroh,
Yeah.
Sean Toom, also known in Iron Man as
Yes.
Yasin.
Yeah.
Or
He's
Yasin.
good. He's good in things.
Yeah, I thought.
And
Yeah,
I would even say he's all right in this. He pulls some. There's certain scenes. I don't know. It's hard to say that there are scenes with him that are good. I will say there are line deliveries with him that are good. The
yeah,
closest we get to anything good is like when Iroh is telling like the whole Zuko, like, oh, your breath can warm you, and when he
yeah.
yells at Zhao and does his little fire thing in the garden.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, he did well. I got confused. So when he had the dreads, did he had dreads in the movie?
he had long hair. I don't think they were dreads, no.
Okay, with his long hair, it kind of made me confused because I thought the guy was you remember in Matrix 3, the guy in the train
With
with his family?
yeah.
I thought that was him. I was like, is that him? And I had to look up like, oh, that's a guy from Iron Man and other things.
Oh, that's funny.
But let's get into Asif Manvi, former Daily Show correspondent. He was Commander Zhao.
This is maybe it's because of his comedy work on like the Daily Show or him barely being in Spider-Man 2. I could
No,
never take Zhao seriously in this
no, no.
because all I see is him. I don't see the character. I just see him.
No, you don't see an intimidating figure here. You just see
Yeah,
Asif Manvi.
definitely.
Maybe we could see a scary guy here. Cliff Curtis, also Tick Tick from the 10,000 BC movie. He's Fire Lord Ozai.
Oh, hang on. Whoa.
What?
Let's stop right there, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. Cliff Curtis is in a lot of stuff.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
You could have said, and I'm not even vouching for stuff like this, but you could have said the Fear the Walking Dead show in which he was like a lead.
Yeah.
You could have said the
Training
Doctor
Day.
Sleep movie, which is really good.
Sure.
Uh you could have said Training Day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You could have said the Meg, but you didn't. You
No.
said Tick Tick from 10,000 BC.
That's all I remember. Whenever time I see him, I'm like, man, that's Tick Tick. He is the man of the people.
Boy, you got issues.
Well, first of all, he's not even Indian. He's New Zealander.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we've reached a point where whoever was casting this was like brown enough. I don't know.
He can play. This guy can play anybody. He's very
He's good. I like him and stuff.
he's a good actor.
But here you'll notice, like, when we were watching the show, the only time we like hear we hear about the Fire Lord, and we only really see Ozai at like 2 points. I think we only hear him talk twice in season 1, but we never see his face. We see him like talking to his daughter at the very end, which we get in this.
Mm-hmm.
And like we see him burn Zuko in the flashback, and then we like hear him like talking to somebody one other time. He's very much shrouded in mystery, the Fire Lord, at this point.
Yeah.
Whereas in this movie, Cliff Curtis just rounds the corner, and you're like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And then people start saying, "My lord, my lord." You're like, "Wait a minute, is this the Fire Lord?" And he just kind of like looks at the camera and purses his lips, and he's like, "Yes, I'm the Fire Lord." You're like, "What's happening?"
Well, let's get into our next actor here. She is.
I don't. Well, okay, yeah, go ahead.
She is Shay Chanel Gabriel.
Say
she
Chanel,
played.
I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Gabriel. She played Princess Yui.
Princess Yui, yeah. Interesting thing about her. You wouldn't know this because we haven't watched it. And I don't know if we will watch it together, but she was in this, and she's not even bad in this, actually. I think she's okay. Fine. You're a little distracted when Princess Yui comes on screen, and her hair is a little shaped like a phallus.
Oh.
She has penis hair. Did you not notice that?
Let me check.
Yeah, go ahead and search Princess Yui Last Airbender hair. Go ahead and do that.
I don't think.
I mentioned that she did return to the Avatar franchise after this. In the sequel series to The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, she plays one of the main characters in that. Not Korra herself, but she plays the character Asami Sato.
Okay. I think I see a little bit.
What do you mean a little bit? If you were looking at the right picture, hang on.
You send me the right picture because I think I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm gonna straight up search Princess Yui penis hair.
No, don't.
Come on, dog.
Come on, man. This is a 2010 Last Avatar movie, kids movie. Come on, what's going on here?
Come on, dog. Look at. I'm gonna send this to you directly, not in the little group chat we're in. You know what? I'll put it in this chat over here. This one will appreciate it. Look at that. Everyone look up. Look at that. Look at that hair.
Oh, I did not. I did not notice.
That's a penis.
I thought it was an arrow.
Okay.
Well,
my sweet summer child.
Well, yeah, she was okay in this, I guess.
She wasn't. I mean, the character in this in particular was like whatever. I mean, every character in this is just we're hitting beats just to get to the end. But her as an actor, she had life in her eyes, which is more than I could say about most other people.
Sure.
And then nobody else on the cast list does anything.
Well, I just want to say one guy's name over here. Damon Gupton played Monk Gatso. He didn't do much.
You just wanted to say Gyatso. That's all you
wanted. Yeah, I just want to say that. And also, Francis Guinan played Master Paku. He did not do nothing in this movie.
What else is he from?
He is
Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Oh, he was the bad guy. I forgot about
Okay.
that. But all right, that was the cast. But let's. I just want to start off with the positives. Do you have anything positive to say about the Last Airbender?
Um. Um. Okay. So, if I had to say anything positive, I would say I think there was the on the part of M. Night Shyamalan, there was an attempt when it came to action scenes
Yeah,
in this film. I think he was going for, and you would know about this more than me, obviously, because you watch them all the time. I think he tried to pull off action scenes in like a Bollywood type action sequence kind of way. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
It
It's
has
mhm.
it has a certain visual aspect to it, the way people move and like the way he integrated visual effects. I'm not gonna like say like, oh, Bollywood effects look cheaper than American effects. That's true for most like foreign film
Yeah,
like studios, right? Or industries. It's America is the leading cutting edge in visual effects and has been for a while. But I think he played with that in a way where he was trying to make certain things kind of Bollywood esque in how uh action played out. You kind of pick up what I'm saying?
like you're talking about like the visuals.
Yeah, not just the
Um,
visuals, but like the action itself. Like
oh, more of
when
like a dancing type of a way.
you kind of yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Uh,
Uh, like big groups dancing, synchronized. Yeah, I can see that in a fighting way.
I don't think he succeeded, but I think
No,
he tried. So that's my positive, is that when it came to something in this movie, somebody tried something. Uh,
yeah,
that's all I have to say positive, because all the performances are so bad. None of the sets look any good.
mm,
None of the costumes are right. I don't know what. So okay, so I think I mentioned when we were talking about season one about how we started watching because I watched the Netflix version and I didn't
yeah,
care for it. Well, now me saying I don't care for the Netflix one has the big asterisk of they made all the costumes look like exactly like the cartoon, and they got some casting pretty okay. There were a lot of writing issues, like a lot,
mm,
and that one visual effects, like I don't really care because it's a television show. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it gets a big pass. But it's crazy that like everything this movie tried to do, the show, the live action Netflix show from this year did better, and I don't even like that show.
Mm.
So
I mean, like, I'll say this positively. The CGI, I thought it was good. It was fine because the thing is, this movie was filmed on like not digital. It was filmed. It was on
Mhm,
film.
mhm.
So any CGI you put on that, it also look good after all these years.
you do
Except
have to
for
have the you do have to have that mindset of that it was 2010,
yeah,
right? And granted, yeah, Avatar had just come out, but nothing's gonna be Avatar.
no.
So you got to like scale it back to maybe the budget wasn't quite. What was the budget for this movie? Let's
Oh
find that out
man,
really quick.
I have it right here. I forgot to mention that before we start getting into it. So before you look, what is your what do you think was the budget for this film
I
was?
I did just look. I'm sorry.
Ah,
So
okay. Well,
the budget was 150 million.
yeah. Well, what do you think about the? You think how much do you think they made?
Well, not enough because we never got another one.
Yeah. Well, in the box office they made 319 million.
Yeah.
They that's still good, but it doesn't
Well, in
match.
theory, because I think we've talked about before, where like the kind of rule that you go by is you take the budget that they have listed and you double that for marketing, advertising, distribution, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I think you have to go more than double though, because this thing was advertised everywhere, wasn't it? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I was just a kid at the time, which I was, and I was just happened to already be watching Nickelodeon, and they were advertising this Nickelodeon movie to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this thing was everywhere, right? They were like, "Look, check this out. This is the next big thing," and then it died a death.
I remember a lot of TV ads on NBC or Nickelodeon, of course. They're hyping up this movie a lot. But when you watched it when you were a kid, this movie, what was your first reaction?
Well, so I will say, 2010. I was like
What, 15?
15, I think. Yeah. I saw it with a group of friends. And I think because we're 15 years old and we all liked Avatar, no one wanted to be like negative on it. I think we just walked out of the theater and we were like, yeah, we just saw that. Appa looked kind of dumb, didn't he? But it's okay because Appa's barely in the movie.
Barely. When I saw this first time in theaters, because of course I have not seen the show during that time, I thought it was. I guess I didn't get it because I didn't understand the story.
Yeah. Well,
And
because
they
they
did not-
don't do anything to tell you the story, really.
No.
They very quickly at the beginning, they're like, "There's an avatar, and he was gone, and then he shows up, and then he's like, I ran away." And you're like, "Okay, why?" And then he's like, "I didn't want to be the avatar." You're like, "Okay." And then they're like, "We got to stop him." "All right, we're going with you." "Why?" And then they go, and then
literally no character development at all.
No, you get nothing.
It's, I think M. Night Shyamalan just wanted, like the selling point for this movie was just the effects, the fire, the water bending.
Yeah,
it was trying to make toys instead of movies. The story, just like Batman and Robin. That's what I wanted to think, because of course they're selling Appa, the toy, all that, but this movie also Aang, he's not even happy.
No, he was like on the verge of tears through the whole movie.
Yeah, like that's not Aang.
No,
Aang,
it's not.
Aang is a happy guy.
To be fair, Abrar, they never call him Aang. They call him Ong.
Ong.
So he's a different guy.
Let's discuss the names here. So we got Ong.
Yeah, Ong.
We got
They say Sokka.
Sokka.
And they say General Iroh.
Iroh. Yeah, that's
I think everyone else is mostly, they say Katara, they say Zuko, they say Princess Yue, right? But yeah, I just don't know why they got those three wrong.
I feel like this movie, it just takes place from episode 1, and then they skip to episode like 12, 13, and then they skip to episode 19 to 20.
Yeah, they do the first 2 episodes where he comes out of the ice and he's at the southern water tribe village, and Zuko shows up, and then he escapes the ship and they leave. And then we very quickly skip to the episode where they break the earthbenders out of the prison.
Yeah.
Although in this version, they're just surrounded by earth the whole time.
Terrible.
Like there's no reason. Like I know in the show, their whole thing is like, well, we don't want to fight back because, we're just kind of downtrodden. Like we've lost our spirit to fight. And then they get talked into it and they're like, all right, you know what? Yeah, we are strong earthbenders. Let's fight back. And that is kind of what happens here. But at least like there's an attempt to not have them bend earth. They put them on a thing with only metal. Here it's strange looking.
Dude, it's like they removed all the essence, what I'm trying to say. They remove all the pure joy of Avatar, because Katara, when she had that, when she's trying to like had that speech when they're trying to break out the Earthbenders.
Yeah.
She had that speech, but Ung, he was the one who was trying to motivate them, but no, it was not him. And then you don't get the character development of Sokka or Soka
Yeah.
of being of a sexist guy.
Yeah.
And there's no the warriors. They
Yeah.
were not in the movie.
They took out the Kyoshi warriors. They had the statue of her for a second. Yeah, well, that's the thing about taking out all the character arcs is like you have no reason to care about the main
Anything.
three people.
Yeah.
The closest you get to caring about anybody is Zuko, because they at least still cover like why he's banished and why he wants to go home. And you know, Dev Patel and then the uncle being like the good actors in the movie, like we said. Like that's why you're like leaning, like you kind of like start paying attention more when it's a Zuko scene. You're like, oh, they're back.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you don't get to see Katara standing on business, and when you don't get to see Sokka be silly, like what Sokka got frozen for a second, and he was like, oh, Katara. That was it. That's all he did in this movie.
Exactly. And then the way they introduce like Yue and Sokka together, like, and Katara's like, oh yeah, and these two lovers they fell in
Oh
love.
yeah, they're just hanging out.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah, hot people hang out. That's what happens, I guess.
oh.
Sure. It's a mess, man.
I will say this. Momo didn't do shit in this movie.
I saw that on your Letterboxd review.
I was pissed.
Yeah, you see, this is now. If you came in and you were like, you would only seen this, and you're like, I hate Momo, I would understand. Momo is more important than this, bro. Let me tell you something. I had seen this movie when it came out in theaters, right? And I probably saw it like once since, just as like a joke or something. But not for many years had I seen this. I forgot Momo was even in this.
Yeah.
And then he shows up and I'm like, oh fuck, Momo's in this?
I forgot how he was introduced in this movie.
He just they go to the air temple because they do the thing where he sees the skeletons and he's like, he freaks out for a minute. And then Momo's just part of the group now. Yeah, they took out Avatar Roku entirely.
They put him as a dragon, right?
I think it's supposed to be Roku's dragon that he has in the show.
Oh, okay.
But they combine like Roku and like other characters, like character from season 2 that we haven't gotten to yet.
Okay.
And like Ko the Face Stealer, they kind of combine him with that a little bit.
Yeah.
They just like well, we don't need to bother with the spirit world because it's not important to the story. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of like threw it all into this one big dragon, and we talked to him twice. The dragon is voiced by John Noble, by the way, from Game of Thrones. Excuse me, cut that. From Lord of the Rings. Oh my. Freudian slip. He's Denethor, right? The steward of Gondor who
yes
lights himself on fire and jumps off the spoilers. Don't listen to that.
No, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I can see right there. I see his face. Okay. All
right, you know what? Let's not talk about Lord of the Rings. Let's not talk about Game of Thrones that he's not in. Let's talk about The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, because he is in that, remember?
Oh, he was? I don't remember.
Okay, watch it.
No, I saw it. I don't remember him being in it.
Watch it again.
I'll watch it. The lesser Conjuring movie out of the 3.
Probably.
Or 4.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's 4?
No, I think they're making another one.
Oh, okay. That's a different video. The Conjuring.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do it for
maybe that's
October.
Halloween this year. Oh, there's a teaser for you.
Well, how many are there? 3, right?
Well, it's Conjuring, but if you count the whole Conjuring universe with like Annabelle and the Nun and the Curse of La Llorona,
that's what, 3, and then another 3. That's 6.
There's a whole bunch.
Oh no, wait. There's the Nuns movie, and then the Annabelles. There's three
Yeah.
Annabelles. All right, let's just do that. Let's do that. Let's
Let's
do
do
that.
the whole thing.
Let's do the whole thing.
Shit.
Okay, that's for October. That's for our scary rewatch in October.
Put it
But
on the
back,
schedule, folks.
yeah, we're saying it now. But right now, Avatar. The way they end Avatar is what? We didn't see a big Aang or Ung.
No, he just made a big wave.
That's it.
I,
That
s- I assume that's, I don't know if it was easier to animate a big wave or they didn't care or they thought it'd be too weird to. I have no idea. They just made a big wave. He was like, "Get out!" But no, let's talk about how the end of um Commander Zhao in this Admiral Zhao.
oh
How
yeah.
he faces off with Zuko for a second, but instead
Mhm.
of Zuko besting him like he does in the show, Zuko's just like, "You're trash, Zhao." and then and then Zhao tries to throw a fireball at him, and Iroh's like, "I don't think so, Buster." And then they leave, and then a bunch of waterbenders round the corner, and Zhao gets caught in the Op's hood, and they just make a big ball of water and drown him and leave him.
Ah, man.
That's crazy.
The reason why M Night Shyamalan made this film is because I believe one of his daughters was into it, and I think he's like, "All right, let's make this movie." Something like that. I think that's one of the inspirations.
If my dad was like, "Oh, what you watching there?" "Oh, I'm watching the show." "Oh, you know what? Just for you, I'm gonna make a big old movie just about this show." "Oh, really, Dad? Thank you." And then he made me this.
Why
I'm not saying I wouldn't talk to him anymore. I'm saying that like his Christmas present in the next year wouldn't be very good. That's all I'm gonna say.
is this his first like non-scary horror film?
Uh, yes.
Is this the first action film?
We just ran through his filmography.
We did. So
Uh,
yeah,
well, no, because Unbreakable's not scary,
no, it's
but it's also not really that action packed. It's very dramatic.
it's dramatic.
Uh, huh.
I want to say this is his first action.
Well, it depends. Do you consider The Happening his scary movie or a comedy?
It's both. But it's supposed to be scary initially. So yeah, I'll say this is his first action film. Don't if you want to go back to this genre, Mr. M Night. You can go back, but just let me know. I'll read the script.
Yeah, M Night, let us know first, and we'll prepare ourselves.
Yeah. So this was supposed to be a trilogy because this was book one. Of course, you will make book two and then book three.
They tease Princess Azula at the end.
Yeah, which is the sister of
Yeah.
Dave, or Zuko.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were supposed to make two more movies. They said no, this is trash. Don't make
Thank
any
you.
more.
Thank you.
That's it. I don't know if there's any comments on M Night on the show, on the TV show on Netflix. I didn't see any comments from him.
I don't. Why would he say anything?
I mean, he's part of the Avatar franchise.
He's part of the lore now. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna quickly throw out my favorite parts of the movie.
Sure.
I love the part at the beginning when Aang comes up in the little iceberg, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Sokka's like, "Katara, no!" And it cuts to Katara with the little boomerang going ding, 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 and then she explodes.
Yeah.
I like that part. I like the part in like the prison camp where the Earthbenders start revolting, and then
Mhm.
there's those like 7 dudes all stomping and chanting like "ha ha ha ha,"
Yeah.
and then it's one rock. I love that. I like when Zhao gets drowned in the opposite. You know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about the Blue Spirit scene where they're like, okay, what does the Blue Spirit look like? oh, he looks like that? No. Instead, we're going to make him look like the evil chocolate maker from the Glasgow Willy Wonka experience. That's what he looked like. They gave him hair. Gave him big,
Yeah,
bushy hair.
it did not look right at all. Oh, I do want to say do like the part where in the movie where Prince Zuko was escaping with Aang in the base. I did like that scene. Or was that fighting scene?
Yeah.
That's yeah.
And I don't know. This movie hurts my brain.
It's not a good movie. I'm sorry.
I gave it half a star on Letterboxd.
I gave it a star. I gave it 1 star.
I normally reserve. I'm very strict on 5 stars, and I'm very strict on half a star. Because to be half a star, it's pretty much got to be unwatchable. I think this is pretty close. I don't think anything about this movie works. I don't think there's any performance worth watching. I don't think there's any.
No.
I think it's an ugly looking movie. I think the story is completely like for having an entire story like road mapped for you. They didn't. It was there, and they just. I mean, they did it, but they didn't care to explain why anything was happening. It seemed like.
No, they just want to go from jump point to jump point and just end the story.
I think you would have gotten favorable reviews, or more favorable reviews, rather, if like they had done what they did, where it's just like, we're not going to explain why things are happening. We're just going to jump from this to this to this. But they actually showed things that were in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like in that little montage of like them just running into a village and knocking a Fire Nation guy over. If they had shown like the pirates or the canyon crawlers, or you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have fixed the movie. I'm not saying that would fix the movie at all, but I think there would have been a moment where I would have been like, "Oh, look at that! Know that."
It would
have been something for me to do while watching this movie.
It would add another layer to the movie. I feel like
at least prove that you watched it.
Yeah.
Prove that somebody knows what Avatar is, please.
I think it's because maybe Nickelodeon Studios is like, we want you to do this, and then M. Night is like, no, I've seen the whole series. They're like, no, you have to do it this way.
He was too big a fan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Maybe.
It's like Sam Raimi with Spider-Man 3. He didn't have any control. Only Sony had control.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But Spider-Man 3, although a movie that's very messy and doesn't work very well, is still a watchable movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can watch it and be like, oh, I cringe at the silly Peter Parker, or oh, there's too many villains, or oh, that writing is kind of lame, or whatever. Yeah, that can happen. But there's still stuff in there that isn't dirt awful. It's sprinkled throughout, and you're like, okay, this is nice. Like the Sandman scene.
Yeah.
The Sandman comes out of the sand, and he's sad, and he's sand. Look at that. I'm going to watch Spider-Man 3 after we're done talking about this.
I mean, let Ong smile once.
Yeah, he was a sad little boy.
I mean, bald, sad kid. I don't want to see that. But yeah, that's freaking The Last Airbender. I'm glad. So I was thinking, like, as you said, like the worst movies I've seen.
Yeah.
I said Cats.
Cats.
Cats is the worst film I've seen until I've seen. I feel like I don't want to say that yet. Hold on.
Oh.
I'll say this right now. I'll say Cats and Last Airbender are on the same level.
What about Getaway with Ethan Hawke and Selena Gomez?
Oh. Well, I'll give that a slightly a little bit better.
I hate to break it to you, bro. It's been so long. The only way you could truly know if Getaway is as bad as this is you have to rewatch it.
Is it on demand? I don't think so.
I don't know. You got to buy it on Blu-ray.
Oh no! Do not tell me 4K. I will not do that.
You have to now.
Hold on, let me
Just
see
how,
this.
like I told you, I bought the 1998 Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick, directed by Roland Emmerich. I bought it on 4K because it was cheaper than buying the Blu-ray, and I'm building my Godzilla collection, and I couldn't leave it out.
I'm glad you didn't leave it out because that is, to my opinion, a nostalgic film. I didn't say good, nostalgic.
Well, you didn't say good now. You've said good before.
I did, but I'm changing my mind. It's still very nostalgic for me. Getaway is still better than these two, Cats and Last Airbender, slightly because of the way they use their camera work in the car. But
Well, it's got Ethan Hawke. He's got to be at least something, right?
he's something.
He's is he bad in that? He's good in almost everything.
Uh, he's okay.
He was the best part of Moon Knight, I think. Even if you hate Moon Knight,
I didn't hate. I don't hate Moon Knight.
I didn't hate Moon Knight. I'm just saying.
Could have been better.
Was he not the best part?
I don't know. I think it's okay in that.
Leave a comment if you think on our Avatar, on our Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan video. Leave a comment if you think Ethan Hawke was the best part of Moon Knight, and if not, tell us what you think the best part of Moon Knight was. All right,
Please, please.
I look forward to no comments.
But yeah, man, let's just end this because next week or in a few weeks here, we're gonna do season 2
Oh,
of
thank God!
the great. Probably. First of all, I just want to say I apologize to all Avatar fans who endure watching this movie. I
The existence of
apologize.
this film. I want you to apologize to Momo.
Momo? Oh, whoa, which one?
To the one that matters, to the real one, to
Okay, yeah.
the one
I-
from the animated series.
I did say the first episode of this is like, as a society, do we like Momo? And I will answer that question. We do.
Okay, there we go. Momo
Yeah.
is family.
Yeah, I just want to apologize to all the Avatar enthusiasts out there. This movie was not for you. It was for no one.
It was for one of M. Night Shyamalan's daughters, but we don't know which one. We'll know when those two movies come out. Trap and what was the other one?
Watcher.
Trap and The Watchers. When those two movies come out, look at what do we want to say? The Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah.
Look at the Rotten Tomatoes. We'll say the audience score. Like that makes a difference. Look at the audience score for Trap and The Watchers, and whichever one's lower, that's the one. That's the daughter it's for.
Or if you see a shadow of Aang's head in one of those movies, that means they like Avatar.
What's the likelihood of that happening?
I mean, was it the Annabelle doll was in Aquaman?
Yeah, that. No, it was Shazam 2.
Which is that? I thought it was Aquaman because of James
No.
Wan.
Interesting that you would think that. No, it was Annabelle. Annabelle was in Shazam 2 because Shazam 2 was directed by David F. Sandberg, who did Annabelle Creations. He directed that one.
Oh.
What about no, there's what is it, the first Conjuring movie? It's either the first Conjuring movie or the first Insidious movie where they go to a hospital and there's like a chalkboard that has Billy from Saw like drawn on the chalkboard.
Oh, that was. I believe that was Insidious.
Yeah, I think it was because I remember that room was shot like really dreamlike, like it was like a spotlight in a pitch black room and like nothing else was there. And Insidious is more like that than The Conjuring was.
Oh.
But you know what? We'll
Oh.
find out this Halloween when we watch all the Conjuring movies.
Oh man, I can't wait for that. Because last year we did Saw, and it's out for you guys. Saw 1 through 10, but now they're making the new Saw movie, Saw 11, that's coming out 2026.
Maybe that'll be its own episode.
Sure, it should be
its own little fun episode when that comes out. September. Is that what you
September. No. 2026 of the new Saw movie.
2026.
Yeah, I think they pushed it.
What? Hang on. This doesn't need to stay on the podcast. We can end it now, but I'm going to look this up. This is
No,
important.
this is all in the Last Airbender episode.
All right. Well, because there's not much else to talk about. Movie's
Not at
bad.
all.
What can you say?
The movie has one good thing.
Oh my
And that
god.
was Gatso.
Oh my god. Saw 11. My man, that's this year. What are you talking about?
You sure? Or really?
Yeah. Oh wait,
my.
no. Oh, it got pushed back to September 26, 2025.
5. Okay.
Next year now. Damn, what are we gonna do for Halloween now?
Well,
We're gonna watch The Conjuring. Is what we're gonna do.
We'll watch the Conjuring universe. I can't wait for that. But let me end this episode before we go crazy talking about Gatso. Skyler,
I've clearly already gone crazy.
Skyler, where can they find you, man?
You can find me watching Saw 11 in cinemas September 26, 2025.
Can't wait for that. Hopefully it's between the two Saw movies. I'm not sure. I don't know how they're gonna keep going with that.
I don't know.
But of course, you can follow this podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I have an Instagram page called the Brown Boy Wonder Podcast. You can follow me there as well. And next week, in a few weeks, we will do season 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I have not seen much of the show until now, and I'm very happy that I did.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, let's get into season 2. Let's end it with
You know what we gotta say?
what?
All right, on the count of 3, you gotta go say it with me. 1, 2,
1,
3.
2, 3.
Monk Gyatso.
Oh, Monk Gyatso. Monkey Man.
Monkey Man.